I'll tell you there's a lot of keys to this. I think one will be hopefully, we got Jaden at full strength again, and I think we've seen his play increase here the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We had a caller mention this, and it's very true. Jalen Carter, we've been struggling with him.
He's a stud.
So we got to make sure we have Biotish back to try to neutralize him as best we can.
I mean,
give him some help.
They got Jordan Davis. They got Carter. They got Nolan Smith. That linebacker is Zach Bond. He's all over the place. Nakobe Dean. They got, I think, one of the best safeties in the league, rookie, Cooper DeJean. He's not. I think he's just legit. I mean, he can cover, he can tackle, he can play the run.
Mm-hmm.
They just got good players on the defensive side. They got good players on the offensive side too, but their defense, I think, is their strength.
Yeah, well, I think we added to our defense too, and it's going to be the first time we played them with Marshawn Lattimore, who obviously I would think would be mostly matched up with A.J. Brown.
Yep. I think Lattimore.
We'll
I think Lattimore will make some plays this weekend.
I just hope that he just kind of takes him out of the equation. They don't really look his way that often, but I'm sure they'll try to get him the ball.
Yeah, I mean, every time the Eagles play against a pretty good defense, I'm sure they put their best corner on him. They still throw to him.
Now, what killed us last time is, if you remember, and I can't remember exactly how it played out, but we were hanging in there, and then Barkley just basically murdered us with his last two runs. Those last two touchdowns. He finished with 146 yards.
Yep.
And he was having a fine day, whatever. But it went to next level with those last two runs that just kind of put us out of our misery. So if we could stay away from those big plays, I'm telling you, I think we have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Barkley ran for $146. He had a 40-yarder there late, and then but he caught a couple balls for 52 yards. So he had combined about 190 combined yards and a couple scores. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, you give him the ball enough, he touched the ball 28 times, 30 times. You give him the ball 30 times, he's going to hurt you, right?
Well,
he is a little bit banged up because he missed some time this past week, but he's always a threat every time he touches.
Where are you? I mean, I know you're going to pick the Eagles, but are you going to pick them by a lot?
I don't know, by a lot, maybe by a touchdown.
Where are you leaning, Valdez?
I mean, you looked at the Eagles game what was that, 5 weeks ago? I mean, Jaden's rib was really bothering him, and they were still kind of in the game.
Right, don't you think we might have a better shot?
I think the defense is improved, not just with Lattimore, but just in general. It seems like they're getting the scheme right. I think this is a massive game.
It is.
I think I'm going to take the Commanders.
You are.
I think I'm going to take the Commanders at home. They're going to put the end of the win streak, and then hopefully, if they beat the Eagles, everyone starts buying in.
It makes all things possible.
I think this is a huge game for Dan Quinn and the locker room vibe heading into the playoffs.
It'd be a statement game. It would show anything's possible.
I think Dan knows that if they beat the Eagles, that he can kind of rally the troops heading into the playoffs. That they feel like they can make some noise.
Mm-hmm.
They probably won't say it out loud, but they really need a win like this.
It's hard to go into the playoffs and basically haven't beaten a winning team. It's hard to have any expectations.
And to be honest, I think the fans might need it more than the players
to buy in.
To start buying in.
I think a lot of us are just kind of like, this is all like unexpected. We don't even know how to handle it.
Yeah,
we weren't expecting this run. We weren't expecting Jaden to be this good. We just weren't expecting.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember that first game, and it was a month and a half ago or so, but Washington had a 7-3 lead at the half. Remember, there were a bunch of punts in that first half. Washington, I think, punted 4 times, and I think Philly punted maybe 3. So there was a bunch of, and there was a missed field goal by the Eagles, I think, on their first possession. So it was 7-3 at the half, and then the first possession Washington had in the third quarter, they went down the field, kicked the field goal. They had a 10-3 lead, but then they just couldn't do much offensively And then, like you mentioned, Saquon had two scores late to make it 28-10. Or
I'm buying into that. Jaden's rib is 100%. It wasn't 100% when they first played, and I think running for Jaden is on the table much more this week than it was when he was facing the Eagles previously. And I think Cliff knows that, and I think Jaden knows that, and so I expect a lot more design runs, a lot more scrambles. Yeah, and I don't think Philly will be ready for that because I think it'll be a surprise to them. I think it's gonna be a close game. That's what has me worried a lot is if it's a close game and it comes down to the kicker.
Yeah.
Remember,
we don't have elite kicking right now.
Remember in that game, Philly led the time of possession by 7 or 8 minutes or so, but they were 9 for 16 on third down. Washington was just 3 of 12 on third down.
Right. But again, that was a limited Jaden.
It was limited, 100%.
Yeah, he wasn't at 100%.
No,
for sure.
Total yards were 434 to 264, and you can chalk that up to Jaden being banged up, but they just weren't as good offensively. Barkley killed him in the fourth quarter.
Drab, I know you're going to pick the Eagles. How badly are you going to
Hey, why do you say that to me when you just went to Valdez, who picked the freaking Saints last week? I mean, let's not gloss over that.
Hey, that was close.
You called me in here. The guy picked the freaking Saints with Jake Hayner starting at quarterback to beat the Commanders.
We know he's a zigger. He zigs, he zags. He's always he does his own thing. You're pretty
I picked
consistent.
The Commanders last week. I've picked them 3 out of the last 4 weeks.
You said you couldn't. I know because you said you couldn't reasonably pick against the Commanders against the Saints.
Yeah. That's
all right. So what do you?
That's logical thinking.
Right. Right. I agree. So what do you?
Hey, it's not like I was way off.
Well, you almost got lucky.
The Saints. Yeah.
All right. So you're taking the Eagles, I assume.
I will take the Eagles, but that has nothing to do with Jaden Daniels until the Commanders prove to me that they can stop an elite running attack or an above-average running attack. I can't count on them to control this game. They're going to lose the time of possession battle, and that's just what I think will happen until they prove me otherwise.
All right. Has in the last few weeks, I haven't asked you. Has Jaden gone up in your eyes at all, or you still not seeing any throws that impress you?
I need more information.
Still,
need more information.
Need more info.
Does John DePompa send you the videos he sends me? Like of all of the like the Orlovskis of the world jocking him and breaking down the Jay Grudens of the world, breaking down the plays and all the reads that Jaden's making and the tight window throws.
I'm
Does he send you those?
I'm not in that group chat with John DePompa.
It's not a group chat. It's just me and him.
No, we don't talk Commanders.
Yeah, he sends me videos and trashes you.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. John DePompa gets trashed for an hour straight on every bit season. Everyone is in my DMs mocking him.
Mike Marr, I know. Where's Mike?
Oh, Mike.
Is there? Is he doing it? He's been,
we already know.
You almost can't even go to him.
You know what he's going to say. He picks them every week.
He's going to pick us big.
What I don't understand is Jason. If the Commanders beat the Eagles, it doesn't change Jason's perception of the team.
Perception, he still thinks.
Why? What's my perception
mediocre.
of this team?
You said yesterday that go into the playoffs. You say, well, I look at the Commanders roster and it's not as good as some of these other rosters in the playoffs.
It's not.
I know, but you just no matter.
It's not as good as the 12-win teams.
But if we beat a 12-win team, maybe your perception.
Well, it doesn't change my perception that I don't think they're going to go on the road and win one of those games. It'll be a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
It might change my perception slightly, but they're still going to be an underdog in whoever they play in the first round. I mean, everyone agrees with that. Right?
It depends on who we play.
Well, you're either.
If we're a 7 seed, we'll probably play a 1 seed, right?
No, you'll play a 2 seed.
2 seed.
The 1 seed gets the bye.
Right.
Like you think Minnesota is just a tier above?
Unbeatable?
Yeah, a tier above the Commanders. I
don't know if they're a tier above, but Minnesota's one of the best, 5 teams in the league. 5 or 6 teams in the league. Wouldn't you agree?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But we're 10 and ain't that far off.
They're not 10 in my eyes, but okay.
ESPN has them 10. Who else did we do yesterday? Pete Briscoe has them 10.
That's they're not 10 in my eyes. I'd put them below some of the teams that are.
I know.
Have won bigger games.
What I'm trying to say is, what in your eyes would get them into that category? Where, if they go on the road to Minnesota,
He's basically saying
Well, I mean,
nothing because he doesn't like the talent. He's saying nothing.
No, it's not that I don't like the talent. They're just not as talented overall, top to bottom, in those other teams.
Yeah, but what if like Jaden just carries him? Jaden just like MVP.
He needs help. You can't just carry a team to beat Philly and then win a huge game in the playoffs. He needs help.
I think he could win isolated games. He may not be able to do
McLaurin's another
multiple
guy.
times.
Brian Robinson's got to run the ball well. They got to play good defense.
If the team looks awesome these last 3 games, they beat Philly, they beat Atlanta in prime time and beat Dallas. That wouldn't change your perception of the team, and they look awesome while doing it.
Well, let's see if that happens. If they beat Philly, it will change my perception slightly, but I don't. They're still going to be a 7 seed, so I don't expect them to win a game on the road in the playoffs. That's just my perception, my opinion.
I think they'll be dogs. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I might actually pick us. I've been saying all week that I was going to pick the Eagles. I might actually pick us.
Dude, it's big. Why? Because Valdez is convincing you?
No. No, it's just, I don't know. Jaden at 100%. I don't know. Is Saquon gonna have a back-to-back? He's had a great season, but is he going to do it
They
again?
were 100% last week against a bad team, and they almost lost.
I know, but it's like week to week.
Conversion.
It almost doesn't matter what you did the
I mean, they
previous
were
week.
terrible in the second half offensively.
I know, but it almost doesn't matter. I've seen this too many times. I've seen this play, like where a team looks totally different one week to the other.
But you can't
especially when you count them out.
But you can't play like that against a team like Philly. You got to
play like that. You're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
If they play like they did last week, they get smoked. I agree.
Yeah.
But it's not like 3-point dogs don't win at home ever.
They do.
Right.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Anything can happen.
I actually thought that they would be a bigger favorite than Philly, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe my perception's wrong.
Yeah, I would have thought 7 points.
Yeah. 7 points, which means 10 points on a neutral field.
But they clearly expect a closer game. Look, the first game when they played them in Philly, it was 10-3, third quarter, Washington. So it was a close game, and then things got out of hand in the fourth quarter.
Right.
I kind of think that's the way it'll go again. I think it'll be tight for a while, and in the fourth quarter,
they're going to pull away.
They're going to pull away because they got better overall options.
Right. What if we score more than 10, though? What if we get hot and we score a few touchdowns?
Well, I'll be wrong.
Also, a good point someone just mentioned is that the last Eagles-Commanders game, they were without Brian Robinson, too.
Is that right? I can't even remember. But we don't have. Yeah. But did we have Eckler? We don't have Eckler.
No.
That definitely hurts.
No, we had B-Rob. He scored the opening touchdown.
Oh. I was going to say, he's 63 yards and a score.
Oh. All right. Well, that guy's wrong. Sorry.
Also had Eckler, who had 8 catches for 90 yards.
I think not having Eckler's definitely hurts.
I mean, he was targeted 9 times.
And if we don't have Ertz,
you know who else was big? Zach Ertz in that game.
If we don't have Ertz, that's going to hurt. But your guy's telling us you think they're going to have Ertz. Yesterday was basically a rest day.
That's what I was told yesterday.
Yeah. All right, if we have Ertz,
that'll be big. Especially
it's a big.
No
factor.
excuses.
Middle of the
without
field.
Zach Ertz. They don't have their star tight end. No excuse.
I'm not saying making an excuse. He's just a key target for Jaden. It's no excuse. Just gives us a better shot. I'm not looking for excuses. Just gives us a better shot if we have him.